6 cold cases of children killing their own parents. Greetings everyone, welcome to Lumity 6, bringing you the top 6 around the world. What kind of kid is capable of such an atrocity against a parent? What kind of a situation would lead to such a violent end? Looking beyond society's most alarming trends reveals society's most alarming undercurrent. These are neglected and abused children whose options are limited. Children who honestly think they have no other way out. While tabloid television has brought us closer to the everyday horrors of our society, nothing still shocks us as much as a child killing a parent or a step-parent. Such, in fact, though thought uncommon, is almost a daily event around the globe. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon to stay up to date with such interesting future videos. The question which arises here is who kills their parents? There are 3 types of individuals who commit parricide. One is the severely abused child who is pushed beyond his or her limits. Another is the severely mentally ill child. And the third is the darling of the tabloids, the dangerously antisocial child. That being said, we have 6 cold cases of children killing their own parents. Insane, right? Sit back, relax, and enjoy the video. Number 6. Lyle and Erik Menendez, the Killer Brothers. After shooting their parents to death, Lyle and Erik Menendez partied, gambled, and indulged in pricey shopping sprees. Here is a look back at the unthinkable Beverly Hills murder that's gripped the nation for 3 decades. On August 20th, 1989, Lyle, then 21, and Erik, then 18, opened fire on their parents inside their Beverly Hills mansion, using shotguns they had bought days before. Joseph Lyle Menendez and his brother Erik seemed to have it all. That is, except everything that their parents owned, which was a lot, seeing as their dad was a wealthy entertainment executive and they lived in a Beverly Hills mansion. The story of Erik and Lyle Menendez is one of the most notorious true crime sagas in American history, and the thirst for more and more deceptions of the saga cannot be sated. On August 19th, their parents chartered a yacht and took them shark fishing. On August 20th, they burst into the den of their home and discharged 15 shots into their parents while the couple was watching television on the couch. Erik said that he fired first, but in the end, Lyle fired best. He landed the bullet in the back of Jose's head and shot the fatal blow into Kitty's face. How cruel is that? After finally being charged with murder, their female defense lawyer opened a smelly can of worms by accusing Erik and Lyle's father of having an ally and orally abused them for years until they finally exploded in a fatal act of rape survivor rage. The defense strategy didn't work, and both brothers served life imprisonment. Number 5. Suraj, alias Sarnam Verma, the Demon. The next on our list is Suraj, alias Sarnam Verma, a 19-year-old boy from Delhi who was arrested by the police on charges of murdering his own mother, father, and sister. Sarnam Verma, alias Suraj, stabbed his family members 33 times, which includes stabbing his mother 18 times, father 8 times, and sister 7 times. Want to know the reason? Well, the apparent reason was that his parents were unhappy that he didn't spend enough time studying and played online games like PUBG too much with his friends. Crazy, right? The police reported that Suraj had a room that he had rented where he and his friends would hang out and play video games. They had a WhatsApp group, and the chat history showed that Suraj was kind of an idol for the other friends of the group. He had recently failed to qualify for his 12th board exams, and his parents were extremely displeased with him. His father asked him to supervise the construction work that was going on in their house, and this apparently worked as a trigger. Though this was not the first time he was rebuked for not concentrating enough on his education. The night before, the family had apparently watched TV together and even looked at old photos in the album. Suraj woke up at 3 in the morning the following day and stabbed his father, and when his mother noticed and was about to raise an alarm, he stabbed her. Unhappy with his sister for telling on him to their parents, he killed his sister as well. He ransacked the house to make it look like intruders were the culprit, though he later confessed to the crime. Number 4. Luo Feng, mentally sick 13-year-old. A Chinese boy who was 13 at the time, suspected of killing his parents, picked up by police 1,900 kilometers from home. Teenager Luo Feng confessed to attacking his mother and father after row over not being allowed to visit an internet cafe. Child's uncle says boy was sent away to boarding schools last year in hope of curing his video game obsession. The 13-year-old Chinese boy, suspected of beating his parents to death with a hammer on Monday before running away, had been arrested. The child, Luo Feng, was apprehended by police in the city of Dali in northwest China's Yunnan province. He had traveled more than 1,900 kilometers, or 1,180 miles from his home in Hengnam County in the central Chinese province of Hunan. According to a statement by police in Hengnam, Luo confessed to the crime after being taken into custody. It went on to detail the events of New Year's Eve, when Luo is suspected of killing his 51-year-old father, Luo Jichan, and 45-year-old mother, Tan Jinua. A statement was published on Weibo, which is China's Twitter-like platform, stated that Luo attacked his parents after his mother refused to give him money to go to an internet cafe. The boy's parents were found dead at their home in the town of Sangtang after Luo's older sister alerted her uncle to what had happened, who in turn called the authorities. Both Tan and her daughter had learning disabilities. The police statement said that Luo fled the scene on his father's motorbike and after spending 2 hours playing games at the internet cafe, bought a train ticket to Yunnan using his father's identity card. Number 3. Kip Kinkel, Mr. Gunman. Kipland Kinkel lived with his family above a trout stream in the bucolic town of Springfield, Oregon. But despite his freckly face and veneer of normalcy, something troubling bubbled beneath the surface in his middle school yearbook. He was selected most likely to start World War III. This all makes sense now. He was engaged in many different activities before as well, such as boasted of lighting firecrackers in cats' mouths and skinning a squirrel alive. Heartless acts, of course. Kip's obsession with guns and violence led his father fatally to decide it could be managed by purchasing him guns in order to rechannel his unhealthy fixation into a benign hobby. The worst decision those parents ever made. And then this happened. One night, May 1998, Kip used a .22 caliber rifle his dad had bought him to murder both his parents. Before shooting his mother, he allegedly told her, "I love you, Mom." The next morning, he drove his parents' car to school and fired 51 rounds into the school cafeteria, killing 1 and injuring 23 others. Kipland Kinkel continues to challenge his prison sentence of nearly 112 years for fatally shooting his parents and then killing 2 students at Thurston High School and wounding 23 others more than 20 years ago. Number 2. Khachaturyan sisters, the infamous trio. Hold tight. Number 2 on our list is some serious, scary things. On July 27th, 2018, the sisters doused their father in pepper spray, stabbed him 36 times with a hunting knife, and beat him with a hammer as he slept in an armchair. This all happened in their Moscow flat. Investigators confirmed the girl's father abused them physically and psychologically for years. So, this case is totally of child abuse, and then every action has an opposite and equal reaction. Charged with murder, the sisters and what should happen to them became one of the hottest topics of debate in Russia, and more than 300,000 people signed a petition calling for their release. Some major facts of this case are: 1. Christina, Angelina, and Maria Khachaturyan suffered years of sexual abuse. 2. The teens killed Mikhail Khachaturyan, 57, with his hunting knife and a hammer. 3. There was a public outcry when they were charged with murdering their father. And 4. Prosecutors have now dropped charges and reclassified the attack as self-defense. This case was mostly considered self-defense, so this case makes a little more sense than the other cases. Number 1. Henry Chau, the monster. Henry tried to pass off the chopped up salted corpses of his parents as barbecued pork. How disgusting is that? This on our list is the worst of all cases. It shows brutality at its peak. One would think that if you're going to murder your parents, you would have the taste and discretion not to brag about it on social media. But that's exactly what Henry Chau of Hong Kong did on a WhatsApp group after he murdered his parents in 2013. After being indicted for murder, Chau explained to the police that he instructed his dim-witted friend Angus Tse to chop up his parents' corpses, salt them, and bake them, in the hopes it would all look like barbecued pork rather than dead human bodies. Investigators found microwaved human flesh and the victims' heads in 2 separate refrigerators. In video shown to the jury, Chau spoke of persistent difficulties communicating with his parents and gave an oddball explanation for the murder, and said, "I thought that if I could resolve the emotional connection with my parents, it would be a solution. If they died, I could be reborn." It is disturbing, but it's all true and real. Have you ever thought of killing your own parents for any possible reason? Do you think any help can make these feelings go away? Let us know in the comments section below. That is all about today's video. If you like this video, then don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon to stay up to date with such interesting future videos.